than simply building a...
All right, let's go back to the audience. Tony is a real estate agent from Copley, Pennsylvania, has our next question. Tony?
Senator Sanders, good luck in your campaign.
Thank you.
As a Syrian American, I want to be assured our country isn't going to partake in any foreign affairs that don't directly affect our national security. I believe we need to stay out of Syria, Venezuela, and other countries that have their own personal issues. Do you wholeheartedly agree with this sentiment, or are you going to become another cog in the war machine?
Well, Tony, thank you. That's an excellent question. You know, we don't, as a nation, we don't discuss foreign affairs quite as much as we should. Tony, you're looking at a guy who, once again, not only voted against the war in Iraq, I helped lead the opposition to the war in Iraq. And if you go back to YouTube, and what I said then is that wars have unintended consequences, whether it was the tragedy of Vietnam, where so many people in my generation are still suffering as a result of that, people sleeping out on the streets. And by the way, we have got to make sure that no veteran in this country sleeps out in the street. But let me just say this, and this is in a sense good news, and I know you guys know this, that in the last month, I led the effort along with Senator Mike Lee, who was a conservative from Utah. Mike and I led the effort in the Senate, and some really great people in a bipartisan way led it in the House. And what we said is we think that the United States should get out of the Saudi-led war in Yemen. And for the first time since the War Powers Act was passed 45 years ago, we succeeded in the House and the Senate. And let me say this in a very serious way. I've been critical of the president all night, but let me just say this. The president has said that he does not want to see this country involved in endless wars, and I agree with that. And, Mr. President, tonight you have the opportunity to do something extraordinary. Sign that resolution. Saudi Arabia should not be determining the military or foreign policy of this country. Let's get out of Saudi Arabia. Let's develop a bipartisan approach so that we do not continue to be engaged in, wars like Afghanistan, which is, 18 years in that war.
19. So from a foreign policy perspective, which country is the biggest threat to the U.S.?
I don't know that look, I don't like using the word threat because that says, oh, my God, we have to spend zillions more on the military. I'll give you an example. Clearly,